Hello again, everyone. All right, so Steven Crowder, bit of a mixed figure. I listened to him, listened to a bunch of others as well, and today he brought up a certain point regarding Hillary Clinton, which I thought really needed attention. And again, not a fan of Hillary Clinton. Voted Donald Trump 3 times, 3 times now. And honestly, I think Steven makes a lot of great points, and I think he makes one big fumble that I'll talk a little bit about, and I'll give my reasoning just from my level of understanding with economics, and also this is how the economy runs and how the government runs and how I'm seeing it's run currently, where I think that's why he fumbles on it. But really, more so than not, he's quite correct, and I'm going to talk a little bit about what Hillary Clinton touched on as well. Let's fire away.
As I posted the other day, this very blatant effort to basically send a message, most exemplified by Vance and Musk and others, that, what we really need from you women are more children.
Pause. Correct.
So I know Steven's he wants to be the flaming sword, the the inflammatory figure. I don't really think that's really what society really means, at least not conservatives, not like moderates, the MAGA crowd or anything like that. I honestly think it's really just that we want to go back to the nuclear family and we cherish motherhood more than the wage worker, the wage slave, the person who's just grinding away. And I agree with that. More than once I've said, and I've crowds or I post online that I value a mom. I think a mom's more valuable. I think mom is more valuable than 10 CEOs. And I stand by that. Women, you're the ones that get pregnant and you're the ones that get birth. Now, there is this unfortunate lie that the gift of life giving is only a feminine thing, which is unfortunate. And really, it's not. It's actually more a masculine thing, since us men, we're the ones that fire the cannon away and send what's pretty much already living creature, the little squiggly guy, into your egg, and then life is given. Now, both of our genetics are combined to create this wonderful human being, but really life starts with men. I think that's an unfortunate thing that not really talked about that often. But I do agree that, yes, we need to have more children. We need to be able to carry on our legacy, and even society's legacy, our Western society's legacy, freedom, liberty, all that great stuff. And the only way to do that is to have children. And what kind of confused me a little bit is why, I'm not saying all Democrats, because that's the opposite lie, because they have children too, but like extremists, leftists, and they're allowing to like scare women back and just stay into the workforce and to stay grinding away. And honestly, most women I know don't like the current setup. They don't like grinding away. They don't like going to think about it. Like, how many people really want to stay at home? Like, I want to stay at home and work from home and all stuff. Like, a lot, especially women, really, really like that. Like, they really love it. Men are the ones like, let's go to work. Let's go. Let's get things done. I don't know why I'm sounding like Alex Jones. Oh, I made a meeting with him the other day. But that's the reality truth of it, is that I don't really know a lot of women that want to just grind away in the workforce. Now, I know they'll get up with their pitchforks and their torches and blah, 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 but a lot of them don't, because you're not really working for something you enjoy. You're working because, well, unfortunately, pretty much after World War II, we kind of forced households to become 2-income households, and the cost of living keeps going up and up and up. So for me, and this is kind of go back on what Steven Crowder was saying, we'll say later, I do agree that we need to have, the motherhood, the saddest symbol of motherhood, get uplifted once more and be cherished more than just 15 million boss babes, because we really don't like the boss babes. We don't.
And what that really means is you should go back to doing what you were born to do, which is
correct.
And yeah, again, now the way she's describing it is, again, just trying to bash it down, trying to like ever since I was like a teenage boy, even younger, motherhood was being attacked, being demonized, destroyed. I remember people were saying, well, you can't have fun in your 20s and your 30s if you have kids. It's like, how much fun are you wanting to have? Like, there's only so much alcohol you can consume. Clubs, I've never had a good experience in a club. Most people I see, they usually don't have good experiences in the club. They just are intoxicated and think they're having a good time. And then not even that, like hobbies, whatnot. Like you can still have hobbies and stuff with kids, especially if we get this insane inflation under control and government spending under control, which we're hoping to do. That's what the MAGA party generally looks for. But this insane thing, it's like, oh, we just want you just in the house nonstop getting knocked up. No, that's not. It's not what anyone's saying. We would just like to cherish motherhood more. And she goes on to talk about, but they oppose, stay-at-home moms. They oppose paying for, how does she put it? I'll let her speak for herself.
To produce more children.
Pause. Yes.
And
I agree. I want more children. I only had one son. I want more. I want more kids. I like the idea of coming home, working hard, and mom, the kids, they're waiting for me. They're excited to see dad. We discuss things. I teach things. I taught my son lots of things. Taught him all the time. Every chance I got, I was always teaching him something. Hopefully those lessons stick. But yeah, that's awesome. And honestly, women like how many women like little dogs? Or they like the little cats? Or they like the little things? That's the one thing that are discussed about. Really, like women cherish taking care of little things. Babies, human babies.
they're talking about, cash benefits for the more children you have. This has been tried, by the way, in other countries, and it has not worked.
Did it not work in other countries, Hillary, because you guys influenced and did something about it? Let's not be coy. The United States, especially the elite, the elites that control the United States and the elites that influence the United States and influence what happens, what doesn't happen, has always had their hands in everyone's little cookie jars. So to go on to say that other countries have tried to, hey, if you have more babies, we'll give you financial resources as rewards, and it didn't work. Like, why did it not work? Were you involved with it not working, Hillary? I definitely believe you would. Did your government that you're controlling at the time, your governmental system, your administration, I have to use the word administration, not government, did your administration prevent that from working? Or is there a reason that your administration wouldn't want that to ever work? And I agree. There would need to be financial incentives to have children at this point, because unfortunately the cost of living keeps going up and up and up. Call it corporate greed, call it government, incompetence. People say government incompetence, but I'll be honest with you, I believe they do it all on purpose to make things harder to go by and make things more expensive. The real estate that's just getting pumped up by illegal immigration and other type of things, and Section 8 housing and all that good stuff. All that stuff does come at a cost. And yes, it does have to be that most houses have to have double income, especially in large city areas where, again, the cost of living is just skyrocketed up beyond control. And yeah, we can go in that's tech's fault, we can go that's fault, other person's fault. But the reality is it's going to take both political aisles to fix that. And yeah, there will probably have to be some financial recourse for having children, some financial support.
Or medals if you have 6 children, while they're contemplating.
I mean, I don't think a mom needs a participation trophy. She has 6 kids. I don't think she does. But see how, again, she's like, oh, to give you a medal for having 6 kids. Like it's some disgusting, laughable joke. And then some of the audience members kind of lightly chuckle. But really, that just kind of shows what the MAGA movement, or at least what they're saying they're going for. I am part of the MAGA movement, but also more like a constitutionalist. I'm a stubborn guy. I like to do my own thing. Yeah, I mean, I do think that having multiple children and raising the next generation of freedom-loving Americans is fantastic. I don't really know you need a medal for it, but that's kind of the way it's going. And that's how it's cherished and supported and rewarded and also looked up upon. So it's kind of goofy for her to be like, I got a medal for 6 kids. Again, you can just tell this woman was always just a career, just a miserable pile of human flesh that just hates everything, and just except for herself. She really likes herself.
Cutting Medicaid.
Pause. Incorrect. That's what we call a lie.
While
Trump has said several times he's not planning on cutting Medicaid. Yeah. There's one thing I've worked amongst Democrats way more than I've ever worked amongst Republicans or conservatives or anybody else. Just fortunately, that's the way my life has gone. But I've learned a lot. and I've listened, and yeah, there are a lot of lies, and sometimes they don't even realize they're lies because they just either won't take the time to look it up, or conservative media is too edgy and trash talking and just kind of like stupid libtards. And unfortunately, that is kind of what happens when you go down that route. You just cut off the ability to speak to the other side, or have people who would probably listen to you and be influenced by you completely turned off because you're just insulting them. Yeah, but I've heard nothing about Medicaid.
They have no interest in paid family leave or funding.
Yeah. Now, it's not no interest, but it's certainly a lessened interest. And let me explain to you why. Paid family leave suggests that we continue with the current power structures that be, systemic problems like you guys often like to discuss, like doubling the workforce overnight as we did with women's lib the 60s and 70s. And we created a dual income household that now seems to be a necessity where we thereby offload and out.
So I'll kind of stop him there because he doesn't really. Steve Crowder sometimes kind of just gloss. He's not the only one. They kind of like gloss over what they mean. Paid family leave. Now, when he's talking about the current system, are these like in California? California is ruled pretty much, yes, Democrats, but also by unions. And what the unions do is they just dump money on the Democrats and they just do whatever the hell they want, and then they control the state through that way. Yes, there's also Gavin Newsom, who also has his powerhouse. Nancy Pelosi has her powerhouse, and Democrats as well. But the unions are also heavily involved. Now, when he says paid family leave, and what she says paid family leave, what they're meaning is the company, the business should have to pay paid family leave. The problem with that is, depending on the woman, some women probably can keep working. Again, I'm opposed to that. I don't think they should keep working because that increases the risks of all sorts of issues with child labor, also health of the child, undue stress on the mom. I know you see the videos of like women going out and they're like doing freaking, what the hell is it? Like burpees, freaking push presses, all sorts of different kinds of crazy exercises. It looks like they're trying to cancel their pregnancy as hard as they possibly could. Yeah, I know those type, but that's not most women, and that's also very unusual. And really, I wouldn't suggest doing those kind of psychotic exercises with your child. Am I opposed to paid family leave? No, I'm not. I'm not opposed to it. Reason why is I don't think the businesses should be paying for it. Now, goes back like, hey, you want the government to pay for it, blah, blah, blah. Yes, the taxpayers. To be honest, we're already saying how our government has just wasted countless billions, basically trillions of dollars at this point. All for what? For other countries' benefits, for their political benefits, for their political manipulations, just for their own weird pet projects to push their politics. And we've seen how countless illegal immigrants are basically come in here and got a bunch of free stuff. Like if you look what happened in New York, free hotels, free Visa cards, free phones, free food, and they would do that for months, just paying untold amounts of money for people that have not contributed to society, did not have parents who contributed to society, who weren't actually, born and raised in the society, just came over for a free paycheck, collect this stuff, cause chaos, start criminal problems, and are doing whatever it is that they're doing, hopefully getting deported. But I digress. If we can spend that level of money on illegal immigration, and they talk a little bit about the replacement theory here, and it is correct. It is a replacement. She even admits it. It's replacement. Like, oh, these Americans, they don't want to do this. Well, we don't do that. Well, these illegal immigrants, they just have so many kids. So why are they trying to deport them? Because they're not American citizens, and you purposely brought them here to vote for you, and that's the only reason why they're here. So I don't think that businesses should have to pay for family leave. I've seen what it does to businesses. It hurts them. They can't really hire anybody else. Again, people being up in arms, like, oh, you're a piece of trash or you're garbage. I don't think the company should have to pay for it. Like, the company did not make a decision for you to get pregnant. You made that decision. But I also know in reality, it's too expensive to have kids. And that's, once again, by design. That's why, again, when illegal immigrants come here, and again, if you're a Democrat, you know that these people need lots and lots and lots of help to get started. So if we're spending those kind of resources on legal immigrants to come here and get all this funding and all this cash, cancel all that because it shouldn't be happening, provide those funding resources to women who then want to have kids and then can also survive off of that, not government money, the taxpayer money instead, to raise children. Now, I don't think Steven Crowder really goes into what he means, like not interested, less interested, but it's like, I get what he's trying to block. The whole company should have to pay for it. Yes, I agree they should not have to pay for that. But he doesn't really talk about how government should have to pay for that. Also, government should have assistance to get people started again. Because again, like he said, I said after World War II, he said 60s and 70s, when women basically were, I don't want to say brainwashed, but the government and corporation powers that be worked really, really hard to make sure that women really, really want to go to work. And basically just became a two-income household. And now we're at, where wages are barely moving up and the cost of living is skyrocketing.
Outsource the most important job, as many of you said. Didn't you say something about it takes a village? Raising your own children. So paid leave won't solve the problem of the children wanting to have mommy home. And yes, have children, because right now we are well below replacement rates. It's 1.6 live births.
Yeah, he didn't really go over it. And again, I understand that. Like I said, every conservative, whoever gets somewhere, becomes somebody, has certain people that they have to keep happy, and also that's everything. That's also Hollywood stars. But also, as a business owner, does he really want to have to pay his female employees when they get pregnant to go work, to go stay at home and basically pay to be raising a child? No, he doesn't, and I understand why. It's just, it hurts the business. That female individual was hired for a specific job that needed to be done, and if she's at home taking care of her children, she can't be doing that job anymore. And I understand this goes into ethics, goes into morals, yes. But at the end of the day, like, somebody has to be footing the bill. I just think most businesses don't want to talk about it. I mean, it is a burden, unfortunately, but it shouldn't be a burden on the business. It should be a burden off on the government, which helped create this problem. But that seems to be the conversation they don't have yet. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. Discuss down below. I'm interested in, like, this weird blueberry thing keeps happening here. Let me know what you think about it. Am I talking crazy? Should the government not be paying for paid family leave instead of the businesses? So we all just work and work and work and grind our lives away and have strangers raise our children? Because I think he talks about that next. I'll see you next time.